Hi guys, and welcome to this class where we're going to focus a very quick kind of style, very short, only 30 minutes, where we'll focus on toning up our whole body. So lots of moves to strengthen the upper body, the core, your legs, and we'll slowly obviously build up and get to our salutations, our strong flow. But please feel free to adapt at any point. I'll be offering modifications, and what you might want for this class is a couple of blocks to bring the floor a little bit closer. If you don't have blocks at home, then you might want to grab yourself some books, just something sturdy that you can rest your hand on, not anything soft. You may even use like a densely folded up like towel or something, with some bobbles around it, just to bring that floor a little bit closer. Okay, when you're ready though, I'll meet you on the mat and we'll get going. So whenever you're ready, we'll begin in a comfortable seat, a nice easy seat, Sukhasana. So if you don't feel comfortable sitting straight on the floor, you can always take this meditation, bring in two blocks, and you just bring it next to each other like so, and you just sit your sit bones up on top of there. Gives you a little bit more space. Takes your pressure out of the lower back a little bit. And if you need to sit on anything extra like your blankets or even just take a chair that's maybe nearby for this start, then you can. But whenever you get there, we'll slowly start to fill our belly, our lower lungs, our chest, inflating with each inhale. Exhale as we just let it all go and sigh it out through your mouth. Just taking a moment to check in. The gaze can either be softened or you can just close the eyes. And starting to just take our awareness into our physical body, checking in with how we are, how we're feeling in our muscles today, our joints. Not trying to change anything, not trying to alter, but just simply noticing. Softening your body as you go with each exhale, just letting the shoulders drop down. Let the jaw unclench. And then taking a moment to shift your awareness over into your feelings, your emotions, how you're feeling right now in this moment. Just taking your time to just notice and observe without trying to force anything and change anything. And then we shift our awareness over into the mind. Just noticing and observing the thoughts, whether they're quick or slow, and whether you have just one dominant thought there in the surface today. Not trying to change anything or alter it, just simply bringing your awareness back to the physical, the breath, and the body right now without getting too distracted by the thoughts. As we just take one or two more breaths here. And then wherever you are, we'll bring our hands into the heart center, finding that prayer. And just take a moment to remind yourself of your intention and what brings you to the mat today. What drives you to come and practice. Take a deep inhale there to really cement it in. And exhale to release anything that's no longer holding that space or helping you get there. And then releasing your hands down, opening the eyes. We're going to start seated, warming up our body a little bit. So feel free just to move any props out of the way if you do need to. And then getting yourself back into that Sukhasana. So if you do need a little movement of the legs and just wiggle them side to side, roll out the ankles and do so. Just listen to your body, but whenever you're ready, come back to that comfortable seat. Maybe alternating the legs, finding a balance, swapping the shins around. And we'll bring our hands down onto the knees or the shins, whatever feels more comfortable. And then as we inhale, we're very slowly going to open the chest and open the heart, roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze up to the ceiling. As we exhale, we'll round through our back as we tuck the tailbone, sit back and round our upper back, gazing down at your navel. Taking 1 or 2 more rounds here with your own breath. As you inhale, you'll arch and open the heart. And as you exhale, you'll round and tuck the tailbone, shift your gaze down. Taking 1 more round here. And then from here, inhale, coming up nice and tall. Taking a little neck roll now as we drop our chin down to our chest, stretching out the back of our neck. And then rolling the right ear over to the right shoulder, opening the gaze, lifting the head slightly. And then on your exhale, dropping your chin down to your chest. And on your inhale, left ear comes to left shoulder. And then taking a few little half circles here with your own breath. As you exhale, drop it down as you inhale, opening it up to the side. Beautiful. Taking 1 or 2 final breaths here. And then inhale, bringing it all the way back into the center. Taking a moment, let's warm our shoulders up as we inhale, sweep the arms up over the head. Touching the fingers if you can, and then exhale, take it back down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, taking it up. Exhale, bring it down. 1 more inhale. And then on your exhale, bring the left hand over to the right knee, twisting it out, placing the right hand behind you. Finding a nice seated spinal twist. And then inhale, bring the arms up over the head, lift up. And then exhale, over to the left, little spinal twist, bringing the right hand over to the left knee. And then inhale, bring it all the way up. And then exhale, extend the legs long and forward fold. Finding ourselves in a hamstring stretch here, going as far as feels comfortable. You can hold the floor if the bind to the feet or on the legs is not accessible for you today. Just give it a little bit of time. Pausing here for a moment and using our core strength to really pull the belly button in and lever ourselves forwards. Using back strength as well to close that gap between our legs and our torso. Just allow the gaze just to be soft in between the legs. And then from here, we'll inhale very slowly, bring it all the way back up into that seat. And we're going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. So bringing the knees underneath your hips. And if you need any padding underneath the knees, then you can just take a little fold here and place the knees on that. And the same with your wrists. If you need any padding to protect your wrists, you can just double up your mat at the end and create a little pad there to rest your hands on, taking it as thick as you need it to be. But wherever you are, trying to place those hands underneath your shoulders, the wrists. Bring your knees under the hips. Inhaling there wherever you are. Tabletop position. Drawing your belly button in. Squeezing your abdominals as you rest. Exhale it out completely. And then on your inhale, we'll curl the tailbone up to the ceiling. Full cat-cows. As we roll the shoulders back, lift the heart up. Lift the gaze forwards. And as we exhale, we'll round into our back by tucking the tailbone, pressing into the hands to round our upper back and dropping your gaze down to your belly button. Following with your own breath. As you inhale, you will arch and you will lift. And as you exhale, you will round, tucking the tailbone, really pressing into your hands. One more breath here. And then finding your stable tabletop position here. We're going to bring the right hand forwards, just fingertips to the ground, and then exhale. The left leg comes out behind you. Staying here in this alternating leg and arm tiger pose. And then if you want to go all the way here, maybe play around with lifting the leg parallel with the floor, maybe bringing the hand up parallel with the floor. Taking one more breath here, really squeezing your core as you go, challenging our abdominals. And then dropping your hand down, bringing the leg down. One round of cat-cow here as we inhale, arch, exhale to round. And then bringing yourself back, neutral tabletop. Bringing the left hands forwards now, left fingertips forwards. And as we exhale, take the right leg behind you. Staying here, get your balance. Taking a moment, softening your gaze into that center point at the front of your mat. And then if you want here, you can take the arm up, take the leg up, alternating leg lift here. Really squeezing the core. Modify, keep the hand down if you want, but we're still working on that asymmetrical balance. Taking one more breath here. And then dropping, hand down, dropping the leg down. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale to round your back. And then neutralize that tabletop and shift your knees back a little bit here. So you are tucking your tailbone under and sinking your hips. You want your hips to be in line where you have one straight line going all the way from your knees up into your shoulders. So your bum's not all the way up in that tabletop and it's not all the way down in a cobra. And then if you want to add on with this plank hold, you can squeeze your core, curl your toes under, and then lift your knees up nice and firm. Pushing into the arms, strengthening your shoulders. Take an inhale here. Exhale it out completely. Draw the belly button in. And then shifting your hips back and up. Finding a downward facing dog. First one of the practice. Feel free to pedal out the legs by bending one knee, straightening the other. Getting yourself nice and stretched out. Opening your shoulders, opening your chest. Taking one or two more breaths here. And then continuing here with our full twisting motion here and asymmetrical poses. We're going to bring ourselves onto our left fingertips. And for some, that may be enough of a challenge. But if you want to go further, we're going to bring the left arm under the body and first just reaching over across to the right side of the mat. Maybe the fingertips come off the floor and shift the gaze to the right side. And if you can bring the hand down, catching the ankle or the calf muscle of that right leg. Twisted downward dog here. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then shifting your hand forwards. Inhale, full downward dog. Exhale, heels work down. They may not touch the floor, that's fine. And then bringing ourselves onto the right fingertips. Inhale in there. And then as we exhale, maybe bringing the hand under towards the left side of the mat. Maybe taking it over onto the calf, shifting your gaze. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then from here, shifting your hand forwards, and we'll bring ourselves onto our knees. Inhaling there. And as we exhale, we're going to bring ourselves onto our forearms and working towards the forearms being parallel. But if they don't get there, don't worry. You can bring the hands a little closer together here. But firmly pressing into your forearms, lifting through your shoulders, engaging that upper body, spreading the fingers, and then curl your toes under. Inhale there, and then exhale, shifting the gaze back towards your toes. Dolphin pose. Giving yourself a strong shoulder girdle here. Gazing back to the feet or up to your navel. Taking 1 more breath here. And then drop your knees down. Bring the hands back. And then step your feet to the front of your mat. Taking a moment here. Forward fold over the legs. Let the shoulders just soften and relax. And then on your inhale, very slowly rounding yourself up to a stand. Taking a nice tall mountain pose here. Palms face forwards. Taking those inhales all the way into your chest. Working through some salutations now. So I'll go through a first modification. And if you want to go full variation from the get-go, go for it. From here though, inhale, take the arms up over the head. Palms face and just gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, reaching down to the ground. Don't worry if you don't reach. Inhale, finding your flat back as you bring the hands to the shins and lift up. Exhale, bringing your hands down and step back, finding a plank in the knees, on the knees, sorry. And then inhale there. Tuck your tailbone. As you exhale, you're going to lower the chest down with as much control as you can. And then inhale, little lift, baby cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under. Shift the weight back into that downward facing dog. Modify as and when you need to. Don't worry too much about having to shift your feet around and move your hands around. Take a few steps. We'll rest here just for a breath or 2. Drawing your belly button in. Feeling yourself lengthening through the spine. And then shift your gaze forwards and step your feet as many steps as you need to the front of your mat. Inhale, finding your flat back, hold on to the shins. Exhale, forward fold, down you go. Inhale, take it all the way up, palms face. And exhale, hands come down to the side. Taking 1 more round here as we inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. Reach into the floor if you can. Inhale, finding your flat back and lift up. Exhale, plant your hands down and step back, full plank if you can, knees lifted. Inhale there. Exhale, chaturanga, lower your chest down to the ground. Inhale, cobra, full if you have it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Resting here for 5 breaths. Taking yourself for a moment here. Slow your breath down. Find your ease, your peace. Taking one more breath here. And then shift your gaze forwards and step your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, find your flat back and lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take it all the way up. Arms come together. Exhale, hands come down. Pausing there, Tadasana, mountain pose. Give yourself a breather. Let it sweat. I've chosen to film this on probably one of the hottest days of the year. Aren't I just lucky? So just give yourself a breather as and when. And then moving into Surya Namaskar B, getting ourselves ready as we sit back into our knees, narrow squat, and then inhale, open the arms up, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold, down we go. Reaching down to the floor. Inhale to your flat back and lift up. Exhale, plant your hands down and step back, finding a plank position. Inhale in there. And then as we exhale, downward chaturanga, down we go. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, meeting in downward facing dog, pausing there. And then from here, we're going to go into our warriors. So we're going to take our right foot forwards. First variation, just placing the foot behind the wrist, as close as you can get. Second variation, foot comes between the hands. Spinning down onto our left heel, bending into that right knee, and then inhale, climb up the leg if you need it. Warrior one. As the arms come over the head, giving ourselves a moment here to sink into the hips and find ourselves getting long and feeling strong. Taking one more breath here. And then as we exhale, we're going to find our Trikonasana, warrior two, as we open up to the side, bringing the arms out to a T shape. And keeping that knee facing forward, so you don't want the knee to come over here. You want to keep your inner thigh switched on so it faces the same direction as your toes. Gazing over your right fingertips. Taking a breath here. And then we're going to straighten that front leg. Getting ready for Trikonasana, mountain and triangle pose. So from here, if you do want your block, then you can just take it there on the inside of your ankle. If you don't have the block, then don't worry, you can modify and just hold on to the leg. From here though, take the arms out to the side, face your palms forwards towards me. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean forwards, tilting the arms as we go, and try and catch a hold of our shin, our block, and then lifting that left arm up high towards the ceiling. Palm is facing the same direction as your chest. Trying to keep your upper body nice and lifted, imagining you've got yourself stuck in a very narrow gap and you can't lean forwards, you can't lean backwards, you're just strong and stable. Give yourself that moment here. Taking one more breath and then removing the block out to the side. Bring the hands down either side of the foot and step back into your plank, traveling through a vinyasa here as we inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, drop the knees if you need to. Inhale into cobra, lift up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here. Taking a moment. And then this time bringing the left foot forwards. The right heel spins down. And if you can, foot between the hands. Inhale right at warrior one to begin with, squaring off your hips, lifting up through your torso. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths here, really bending into that front knee. And then inhale and exhale, open up warrior two. Bringing the arms out to a T shape, really locking on your core, engaging your inner thighs, and opening up through your arms, your chest. Taking 1 more breath here in this warrior two. And then on your exhale, straighten the leg, grab your block if you need it, bringing it to the inside of your ankle. If you are using a stack of books, then just stack as many as you need. Inhale, and then as we exhale, palms face forwards, and then we tilt ourselves down, grabbing a hold of the block if you first need. And if you can even work your hand down to the ankle or to the floor into full Trikonasana. Pausing here for a breath or two. And then from here, bringing the hands down, traveling through Avinyasa as we step back into that plank. Inhaling there. Exhale, Chaturanga, lower it down. Inhale, Cobra, lift it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here. And then from here, let's inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the foot forwards, either behind your right wrist or between your hands. And we're going to lower onto our left knee. So if you do need to step away, grab your blanket or anything that you can to just place under your knee for some cushioning, then do so. If you're on a carpet though, you're probably quite well protected. And then sinking your hips down into that low lunge. Now if you do need your support here with your blocks underneath the wrists and the hands, then do so. Sinking it down, inhale here. Exhale it out completely. Roll the shoulders back and draw your belly button in. Really squeezing your inner thighs together, working on strengthening our body as well as the flexibility. And then from here, let's inhale, keep the left hand planted and open the right arm out to the side. Little spinal twist. And then bring in the hand down. And then we'll step that left foot forwards to meet the right into a forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to forward fold. Taking a moment there. And then from here, we're going to plant the right foot back behind us, step the right toes back, finding a low lunge now with the left leg forwards, sinking the hips down. Starting to slow things down a little bit. Just finding that alignment, protecting your knee if you need it. And then bringing that left hand down and inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling into a spinal twist. And then from here, we'll bring our hands down and curl the right toes under. Inhale, sweep the left leg up towards into three-legged downward dog. And then we'll bring that left foot down, drop the knees down, bringing ourselves into a seat, however you get there. Crossing yourself, so you can just extend the legs forwards, shimmy your hips back, and then inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, down we go. You can reach towards the feet. You can reach towards the ankles, the calf muscles. You can hold under the legs if you need. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths here. Letting the gaze just soften. And then on your next inhale, we'll ride up all the way to a seat. And using our core, centering yourself on the mat, we're going to roll down onto our back. So you can extend the legs long. If you need more help, you can bend the knees for a more accessible version of this roll down. And you can even hold onto your legs if you need. We'll inhale, sit tall. As we exhale, we're going to drop the gaze down to our belly button and roll down onto our tailbone first. And slowly try and lower ourselves one vertebrae at a time until we slowly get the head down onto the mat and bring your knees into your chest. Inhale in there to just give yourself a nice hug, massaging it out side to side if you need. And then extending your right arm out to the side, inhale there. And then exhale, just drop the knees over to the left, finding yourself in a supine twist. Deepening your breath, shifting your gaze if you wish to the right thumb. Just taking one more breath here. And then inhale, bring it all the way back through the center. And then extending the left arm out, inhale, exhale, knees fall over to the right, into that supine twist. You can shift the gaze if it feels good. Slowly cooling our bodies off. If it's at all possible in this heat wave I'm currently filming in, but it's all good. We're all good. And then from here, let's inhale, take it all the way up through the center. Give those knees one last hug. And then drop your feet down about hip distance apart, bringing the hands down to the side of the body. Inhaling there. Exhale, press the hips up towards the ceiling, bridge pose. Tucking the shoulders under slightly. Take a deep breath in there, filling your belly. And then exhale, rolling it down one vertebrae at a time. And if you need to, keep the knees bent, then you can for a bit more lower back support. Otherwise, you can extend the legs long, full Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in here, into the belly, into the chest. Exhale completely and let it go. Softening your body. As we just rest here for a few moments in your Shavasana. Letting all that heat escape. Taking one more breath here. Exhale it out completely. And you're more than welcome to stay here and rest for however long you need.